Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're rediving deep into a piece of Pride Land's history that is often misunderstood and shrouded in darkness. The story of Scar S, very own Lion Guard. We all know Scar S, the villain, the one who brought ruin to the Pride Lands. But what about the lions who served alongside him? What were they and what really happened to them? The show gives us some tantalizing clues, but a lot is left to our imagination. So, let's piece together the story of the strongest, the bravest, the fastest, the keenest of sight, and the fiercest leader of his time, before everything went so wrong. Before he was Scar, he was Prince Taka, second-born son of King Ahadi and Queen Uru, and the younger brother of Mufasa. As the second-born, tradition dictated that Taka would lead the Lion Guard. This wasn't just some honorary title, it was a sacred duty. The Guard was the sworn protector of the Pride Lands and the Circle of Life. Taka, gifted with the roar of the elders, was destined for greatness in this role. He assembled his own team, a group of lions who were the best of the best in their generation. We don't know their official names, but the show gives us enough to understand their skills and their dynamic with their leader. Let's start with the strongest. This lion wouldn't have just been a subordinate. He would have been a friend, someone Scar relied on and fought alongside. Their bond was forged in the heat of their duties, protecting the borders and maintaining peace. Next up, the bravest. He was the heart of the Guard, inspiring courage in others. Then we have the fastest. Speed is a critical asset in the vast savannah. This lion was the scout, the messenger, the one who could cover great distances in the blink of an eye. Think of Fuli, but in lion form. He'd be the first to arrive at a crisis and the first to report back to Scar. His agility and swiftness would have been legendary. He was the eyes and ears of the Guard on the move, always one step ahead of trouble. His speed wasn't just for show. It was a vital tool that allowed the Guard to respond to threats across the entire kingdom with unmatched efficiency. And what about the keenest of sight? Perched on the highest rocks, this lion saw everything. He was the Ono of his time, the lookout who could spot trouble from miles away. His sharp vision was indispensable for anticipating danger, tracking lost animals, or finding the best path through treacherous terrain. We can imagine him as the strategist, the one who provided Scar with the crucial information needed to make informed decisions. His role was one of patience and precision, a silent guardian watching over the Pride Lands from above, ensuring nothing escaped his notice. Finally, we have the leader, Scar himself, the fiercest. As the leader of the Lion Guard, he possessed the roar of the elders, a power that could level landscapes and command the very elements. But his fierceness wasn't just about the roar. It was about his strategic mind, his ambition, and his natural charisma as a leader. In the beginning, he used these qualities for good. He led his Guard with pride and skill, and they respected him. They were a unified team, a well-oiled machine dedicated to protecting the Circle of Life. They were heroes. So, what went wrong? How did this team of heroes fall apart and become a tragic footnote in Pride Land's history? The answer lies in Scar's growing jealousy and ambition. He saw his brother, Mufasa, destined to be king, while he was relegated to the role of protector. Scar believed his power and intelligence made him more deserving of the throne. He started to believe that the Lion Guard should be more than just protectors. They should be rulers. This is where the serpent Oshari's predecessor comes into the picture, whispering poison into Scar's ear. This mysterious cobra preyed on Scar's insecurities, telling him that with his power, he could be king. One fateful day, this cobra led Scar into a trap. Scar was attacked, and in defending himself, he received the wound that would give him his new name. The cobra's venom didn't just leave a physical scar. It seemed to amplify the darkness already growing in his heart. The pain and the betrayal festered, pushing him further down a path of resentment. He returned to his Guard, not as their respected leader, but as a changed lion. He was now Scar, and he had a new, sinister plan. He proposed his idea to his Guard. He told them that with their combined strength and his roar, they could overthrow Mufasa and rule the Pride Lands together. He saw them as his partners in a coup, his future royal council. But he made a grave miscalculation. He completely misunderstood the oath they had all sworn. The Lion Guard's purpose was to defend the circle of life and the royal family, not to destroy it. They were loyal to the crown, not just to him. His guard was horrified. The strongest, the bravest, the fastest, and the keenest of sight they all refused. They were protectors, not usurpers. They reminded Scar of their duty, of the honor in their role. They tried to reason with their leader, their friend, pleading with him to abandon this dark path. They saw the lion they once admired being consumed by bitterness and a lust for power. Their refusal was not an act of betrayal against Scar. It was an act of loyalty to the Pride Lands and everything they stood for. This refusal was the final straw for Scar. In his eyes, their loyalty to Mufasa was a personal betrayal to him. Consumed by rage and paranoia, feeling utterly alone and rejected by the very lions he led, Scar did the unthinkable. He turned the full, destructive power of the roar of the elders on his own team. He, the fiercest, used his gift not to protect, but to destroy. In one terrifying moment, he eliminated his entire Lion Guard. The strongest, the bravest, the fastest, and the keenest of sight were gone, silenced forever by their own leader. But there was a price for this horrific act. By using the roar for evil, Scar lost it forever. The great kings of the past stripped him of this sacred power, leaving him with nothing but his scar, his anger, and his treacherous plans. This single event explains so much about the Lion King's story. It explains why there was no Lion Guard during Mufasa's reign to help fight the hyenas. It explains the deep-seated darkness in Scar long before he orchestrated Mufasa's demise. He had already murdered his own brothers in arms. The story of Skarsgård is a tragedy of corrupted leadership and unwavering loyalty. These 4 unknown lions were heroes who died defending the principles they swore to uphold. They chose honor over power and duty over betrayal. They stood up to their leader when he strayed from the path, and they paid the ultimate price for it. They deserve to be remembered not as Scar's minions, but as the noble protectors they were, a Lion Guard that held true to its ideals until the very end. Their legacy serves as a somber reminder that even the greatest power can be as he intended. So, grab your tissues, and let's dissect the cold, calculated steps Scar took to murder the king and seize the throne. It all starts with psychological warfare. Scar understood that to get to the king, he first needed to exploit the prince. Remember the elephant graveyard scene? That wasn't just a random adventure. It was a test run. Scar deliberately goaded Simba, knowing the cub's curiosity and desire to impress his father would lead him straight into danger. He framed it as a place only the bravest lions go, a challenge Simba couldn't resist. Mufasa, being the doting father he was, rushed in to save his son without a second thought. He didn't promise them power in the traditional sense. He promised them full bellies. This was a brilliant move. He leveraged their desperation, turning their hunger into a weapon. By promising them a place in the Pride Lands, he wasn't just recruiting minions. He was building a loyal force driven by a basic, powerful need for survival. They became the perfect pawns, willing to do his dirty work without questioning the morality of his plans. They were the muscle, the chaos, the distraction he needed. Now, with his pawn and his army in place, Scar was ready to set the stage for the final act. The location was key. He chose a narrow gorge, a natural death trap. The plan was simple, but devastatingly effective. First, he needed to isolate Simba. He brought the young cub to the gorge under a false pretense, telling him Mufasa had a marvelous surprise for him. He even instructed Simba to practice his roar, a cruel piece of dramatic irony. This small, innocent act would become the signal for the chaos to begin, leaving Simba alone and vulnerable in the bottom of the gorge as step one. The surprise was, of course, a stampede. With Simba perfectly positioned as the bait, Scar gave the signal to the hyenas, who were waiting on the ridge above. At his command, they chased a massive herd of wildebeest down into the gorge, creating a terrifying, unstoppable torrent of panicked animals. The ground shook, dust filled the air, and Simba was directly in the path of certain death. The trap was sprung. But remember, killing Simba wasn't the primary goal. He was just the lure. The real target was Mufasa. Scar immediately rushed to find Mufasa, putting on a masterful performance of feigned panic and concern. He cried out, "Mufasa! Quick! Stampede! In the gorge! Simba's down there!" Every word was chosen to trigger Mufasa's protective, paternal instinct. He didn't have to convince him. Mufasa's love for his son did all the work. Just as he did at the elephant graveyard, Mufasa didn't hesitate. He plunged into the heart of the stampede, a brave king fighting against an impossible tide to save his child. Zazu, ever the dutiful steward, tried to get help, but Scar swiftly knocked him unconscious, ensuring there would be no outside interference. No witnesses, just him, his brother, and the chaos he had unleashed. Down in the gorge, Mufasa fought with incredible strength and courage. He managed to find Simba and place him on a small, safe ledge. But in saving his son, he exhausted himself. The current of the stampede swept him away, and he was forced to desperately claw his way up the steep rock face of the gorge. This is the moment everything had been leading up to. Mufasa, weakened and desperate, looks up and sees his brother, Scar, standing on the ledge above him. For a fleeting moment, there's a flicker of hope. He calls out, "Scar, brother, help me." This is Scar's crowning moment of evil. He looks down at his brother, who is hanging on by his claws, completely at his mercy. And with a chilling, triumphant sneer, he digs his own claws into Mufasa's paws. He leans in close, savoring the moment, and whispers the iconic, venomous words, "Long live the king." And with that, he throws his brother from the cliff, sending him plummeting to his death in the stampede below. The murder is complete. The true king is dead. But Scar's plan wasn't finished. The final, and arguably most twisted, part was the psychological manipulation of Simba. A horrified Simba witnesses his father's fall. Scar approaches the grieving, traumatized cub, but not with comfort. He twists the knife. He convinces Simba that the entire tragedy was his fault. "Simba," he says with false sympathy, "what have you done?" He tells Simba that his tiny roar started the stampede and that if it weren't for him, Mufasa would still be alive. He places the full, unbearable weight of his father's death on a child's shoulders. Then he delivers the final blow. "Run away, Simba. Run away and never return." He doesn't just kill the king. He exiles the heir and manipulates him into believing he deserves it. As Simba flees in shame and terror, Scar sends the hyenas after him, ordering them to finish the job, to tie up every last loose end. And so, the coup is complete. With Mufasa dead, and Simba presumed dead, there is no one left to challenge Scar's claim to the throne. He returns to Pride Rock, not as a murderer, but as a grieving brother who has tragically lost both his brother and his nephew in one terrible accident. He delivers a mock eulogy and, with the hyenas flanking him as his new honor guard, he ascends Pride Rock and declares himself the new king. His plan, born from years of jealousy and bitterness, was executed flawlessly. He used love, trust, and innocence as weapons to orchestrate one of the most brilliant and devastating villainous plots ever put to screen. It's a dark, tragic masterpiece of manipulation. And at SY, the death of Mufasa remains a moment that has haunted and captivated audiences for generations. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think is the most cunning part of Scar's plan? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite films. See you next time.